This is the NWA World Must-See Television Champion, Outlandish Zicky Dice, and you're listening to the worst podcast in the world, the Ringsiders Podcast.
Welcome to Ringsiders. Jamie here with Callum, and today we are joined by a very special guest. He's the greatest mid-card wrestler of all time, the NWA Television Champion, the Outlandish Zicky Dice. Zicky, hello.
You know what? That was terrible. I'm going to say this. I left the mid-card long ago. If you haven't seen, I am taking over professional wrestling faster than the coronavirus. Let me introduce myself. It is the NWA Must-See Television Champion, Outlandish Zicky Dice. How you doing, Zicky Dice? I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Wonderful.
We're great, thank you. Yeah, that was a much better intro, Zicky. We can't. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I get paid to do, baby. I'm the best.
Do you want to ask the questions?
We'll just stay silent if you want to do it on your own.
I might. Actually, yes. Where are you guys from? Where are you talking to me from?
We're from the UK. We're from somewhere called Yorkshire. You might have heard of it. We're famous for the Yorkshire pudding.
Oh, I love pudding. I love Zicky Dice. Fun fact, rice pudding. That is one of my favorite things. You want to win my heart over, you bring me some rice pudding to any show, and I will love you forever.
Jamie?
Accept my challenge.
You keep that?
I will keep that in mind, yes. And also, my mum works at the local supermarket, so I'm going to stock up on rice pudding right now.
Oh, hell yeah. You know what's a big shame? You know what? I feel so sick to my stomach, and I just have to say this out loud and get it off my chest. So maybe someone listening out there can help me. But how in the blue hell has the UK not been outlandish yet? That is just sickening.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Zicky. That was one of the first questions we had to ask you. We want to know when Zicky Dice come into the UK. When will the UK get a dose of the outlandish Zicky Dice?
You know what? I can't spoil it all here on the podcast, okay? Maybe it was a trick question, but I'm in cahoots with somebody out there, a few out there. So keep an eye out, because I'm telling you this, the UK will be outlandish here very shortly.
Well, just make sure you bring all of your merch, because I will be giving you my payslip.
Good. I love to hear that. Now, see, you know what? You're making me feel excited. Something my lady hasn't been able to do in years. I'm feeling good.
Oh yeah, you can have all my money. I'm sold. So I'll just get my work to put my money into your account if that's easier. I don't mind.
Well, did you see what I released this morning right before having this conversation? I am selling $16,000 fanny packs. Head on over to ZickyDice.com and you too can have a $16,000 fanny pack. But if you use code Outlandish, I'm giving a fat discount. I'm feeling a little generous today.
Right. Speaking of fanny packs, Zicky, I am a big fan of fanny packs, and I get judged by a lot of my friends for wearing them. And what do you say to people who are not on board with the fanny pack? Because me, I think it's the height of.
You know what? Look, here's what I'm going to say about that. That's a good question, and I did tweet this out earlier, and it might sound a bit selfish and a bit it might hurt a little bit, but you know what? That's life. Life is pain, and the truth hurts. My fanny pack, okay, is more famous than most wrestlers that you know and cheer for. How about that? So whether you like it or not, my fanny pack is more famous than 5 wrestlers that you can name.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, right. Is it more famous than Chris Jericho?
Way more famous than Jericho.
Shawn Michaels?
Yes.
MJF?
Yes.
The Young Bucks?
Who? Yes.
RJ Cruz?
Yes, absolutely. Come on, RJ. God, I don't have to tell him here, but yes. So, you know who wrecked me with the fanny pack the other day? I had Ken Shamrock tweet me and say that he wants to choke me out with my pink fanny pack.
I saw that tweet, actually. I did show Callum, because we were like, I want to see that. I want to see Zicky basically kick Ken Shamrock's ass.
What balls that geezer has. What balls. The world's dangerous man versus the world's outlandish man. Is he senile?
He must be, because first of all, he's not going to get his hands on your fanny pack to start with, right?
Exactly. I'll choke him out with my fanny pack.
Right. Okay. But I want to know, if there's one person you could choke out with your fanny pack, right? You can choose anybody, any wrestler, past, present. Who would it be?
Hunter Hearst Helmsley. How about that?
Brilliant. That's a scoop.
Choke him out. Choke him out. Oh, there's a funny story behind that one. I don't even know if the world's ready for this one.
I think
we're ready.
We're ready.
We're ready.
Oh, here we go. I told the story in the locker room the other day. This is a true story. So I went to did extra work at WWE this past June, and if there's time, you get a tryout match on SmackDown beforehand. So I wrestled a good buddy of mine, Levi Shapiro. Here, and it was in Sacramento. We had 5 minutes. We went in there first, and I did a few magic tricks. I turned $1 bills into hundreds. I did my mouth coil, and I think I did what else did I do? And I do this neck breaker where cards go flying out everywhere. And we got a standing ovation, and not to toot my own horn, I got a standing ovation the year prior. And we had Devon came up to me and Levi, and he said, "Mind if I critique your match?" And I said, "Absolutely." He said, "The only thing wrong with your match is that Vince McMahon wasn't there to see it himself." He's like, you know what? He's like, "You guys look like superstars." He's like, "Look at you, the fanny pack." I had Michael Hayes come up to me and tell me to stop stealing his look. Jeff Jarrett's my fanny pack, loving me. Everyone says I look like a superstar. Steve Corino said he loved the match. We started talking, and I had let them know I was going to do extra work at NXT that following week. So I was in Raw and SmackDown in California, and then I went to NXT to do extra work in Florida that Wednesday, Thursday. And I was told by Corino and Devon, and there was someone else, I'm drawing a blank, to tell me to go up to Triple H and let him know what had happened during this tryout match. And so I was like, yeah, all right. You're not supposed to talk to anyone. So I got to NXT, and I saw Triple H there, and I was like, he was by himself for a second. I saw he was busy, and I walked up. I said, "Hey, my name's Zicky. I'm here for the next 48 hours. I was like, I just need 30 seconds of your time." And he said, he's like, yeah, well, nice to meet you. I'll see what I can do, whatever. So the next day I'm standing outside, and Triple H walks by, happened to be by myself. And there's more to this background story, but it's even funnier, but we won't even get into that. But anyways, he walks by, and I was like, "Hey, you got him in?" He's all, "Nope, absolutely not. Thank you." And I was like, "Oh, all right." So as I was walking out, a gentleman followed me out. He's like, "If this would have been Raw or SmackDown, we would have asked you to leave." And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "For talking to Triple H." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "I was told to." And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Not a good idea." So I was like, "All right." And lo and behold, laughy now, I am the world must-see NWA television champion, and I am taking over wrestling. Let's see. I was on the front page of New York Times last week, the front page of Apple News. Every day is a new adventure, and everyone, "Zicky, you're so hot, you're so hot." But back then, they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. It's funny how the tables have turned. It's a shame what 30 seconds would have done, So, but snooze, you lose.
What you're saying is Triple H missed out on the biggest chance of his life to get Zicky Dice in NXT.
And now I want to choke him out with the fanny pack in front of everybody. Yeah.
That's probably going to go down as the biggest mistake in his career. Because when you're out with the fanny pack, he's going to be thinking, "I should have just given him 30 seconds of my time."
You know what? Did I want to do it? No, I didn't. But I was told by some reliable sources to go and do so, and I felt, the trial match was cool. We got a reaction, and, Adam Pearce had asked me, he's like, "All right, so you popped the boys around the ring, but do you know how to work?" And I said, "Well, if I would have worked, would you have watched?" He said, "Absolutely not." I knew exactly what I was doing. I showed up with my pink fanny pack, my fresh bleached curly hair, my pink hot suit, ready to rock and roll. I was looking for work, baby, because Zicky Dice is money, and I stand out everywhere I go.
How can you doubt that? Zicky Dice is money. Zicky Dice is television.
Oh my God, I'm more entertaining. Come on, I'm bringing back real heat to professional wrestling. The heat magnet, Outlandish, Zicky Dice. If you don't like me, I don't care. And you know why they hate me? You know why they love to hate me? Because they ain't me. And you hate to see it.
To be fair, you're probably bringing in a lot of listeners that we've never had before as well. Yeah. We'll be doing the biggest numbers for this podcast we've ever done.
You damn right. Yeah. You damn right. That's the new thing. That's the new thing I hear together. Hey, Zicky, I have an idea. We can do this together. You want Zicky Dice to make you famous. That's what I'm doing. Who wants to get famous next? Have a conversation with Zicky Dice. Fight Zicky Dice. I'll fight anyone's dad. How about that? That's my new thing. I want to fight people's dads.
Right, I'm gonna set that up then. Zicky Dice versus my dad.
I love it.
And I'm on your side.
Outlandish.
You're selling out your own dad.
I'm selling out my own dad. I am. I'm sorry.
I've seen it all now, Jamie.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Dad, but my dad's just not outlandish enough. You know?
My dad passed away when I was 14. You know why? Because he knew I'd grow up to whoop his ass.
Well, to be fair, Zicky, my dad does rock a Hulk Hogan mustache. So I mean,
is he selling mustache rides?
He's been offered a few times.
Yes.
I paused there for a second. I was a little hesitant on that one, but hey, shout out to Pops and the mustache rides, you know.
There's no limits, man. You say what you want. But he does rock the old Hulk Hogan mustache, and he's a firefighter as well, so he's always getting the offers of a ride. But
there you go.
The chicks were fighters, right?
Well, as long as he doesn't try to put out my heat.
I wouldn't let him. I'd shave his tash off before that even happened.
Oh man, that's a funny story. I'm so glad I was able to share that story and get it off my chest and laugh about it now. But it is funny how life works out. You know, I was even the way I got into the NWA. What you guys see right now, I've been doing literally around the country and anywhere and everywhere possible for the last at least two years. I've been wrestling 4.5, but the whole Outlandish side of Zicky Dice started about 2 years ago. And I was supposed to be in Florida for a show, and that had fallen through. So I was able – I called Championship Wrestling for Hollywood, and I've been working them on and off for the last 3 years. And they had reached out to a prior for this date before. And I reached out to Yuma, who was working over there at the time, and I said, hey, Yuma, I was like, my show fell through. I was like, is there any way you can squeeze me onto November 3rd taping? And he's like, yeah, come on down. I'll find something for you. I was like, all right, cool. I got in the carload with my boys, my NorCal carload. And, you know, we started venting as we usually do. It was a 6-hour drive. And I was just like, you know what? I don't know what else to do. I'm literally, you know, I'm flying myself here, flying myself there. I did fly myself to NXT for, you know, the opportunity. I was, you know, I had tryouts at New Japan, Ring of Honor in the last few years. You name it, I was doing it. And I was, you know, getting exhausted and getting tired and didn't know what I could possibly do next. You know, I put up a freaking billboard outside of when AEW had the All Out event. I put out an All Outlandish billboard out on the exit near the arena, launching my new website. Like, I didn't know what else to do. I was literally trying to just get the word out. And then, lo and behold, I never had a promo at Championship Wrestling in Hollywood. That day I showed up early. I got a promo. I said 6 words. I was pulled around the corner to meet Lagana and Billy Corgan and offered a job at NWA right there on the spot. That same day, I was venting about all this baloney, and
that's so cool. Like, I just think it's amazing, like how you've just shown up in NWA Powerrr, and like you keep saying, you've taken over, and it's almost like you've been part of Powerrr since the start. Now, I can't imagine Powerrr without Zicky Dice.
You're damn right. You're damn right. And it's funny because when I was brought in, I had no idea what I was doing. After the first set of tapings, night one, Lagana came up to me in the back. He said, how you doing? Are you having a good time? I said, yeah. He's like, all right, well, I got you here. He's like, I got to let you know, I got you on this set of tapings. I got you at the Hard Times pay-per-view. And then that next set of tapings, he's all, and then, you know, we'll talk. And I was like, okay. So what does that mean to me? That means I got to do something to earn a spot here. I got to earn a spot. I got to earn a seat in this locker room. I was just brought in as a trial, as a guinea pig. And, I mean, if you watch NWA Powerrr, the rest is history.
Well, now that guinea pig's the television champion, so...
Yep.
What's it been like working with Billy and Dave Lagana?
I love it. I grew up a Smashing Pumpkins fan, so that's always a trip, that he's now my boss.
Yeah, that must be surreal.
Yeah, my birthday was in this past September. And me and Levi Shapiro, I went to training last night at East Bay Pro Wrestling. Shout out to them for having me. Went and trained with them last night, and I was talking to Levi about it. And my birthday this year, we went and saw the Smashing Pumpkins. And 2 months later, I'm working for Billy. And it's just the last few months, and even this year, has literally been insane. Every day is a new journey. Now as time goes by, I'm able to get a grasp on what's going on and wrap my mind around it a little more. And it's been very surreal. I love working at the NWA. It's very professional. And it has such a historic vibe to it, and here I am, forever etched in history, with names alongside some of the greats to ever do it. So
I think that's one of the best things about NWA Powerrr is it's got the history of the old NWA, but with that contemporary spin of like the modern day wrestling. Like yourself, you're a bit of a hybrid of the old school with the new school. And I think that's what makes Powerrr so interesting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we're growing by the week. It's great to see, these numbers. And coming up April 19th, we find out we've got this whole virus bullshit going on, but we find out what's coming next. But, I'm set to wrestle the biggest event of my life at the Crockett Cup. In Atlanta, Georgia, and going in as television champion, it's huge. And all I can ask for everyone listening, if you haven't already, go to youtube.com/NWA and hit that subscribe button on the top. It goes a long way for us. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up in the future. Some I can't even talk about, but I'm telling you, we're growing. It's happening.
Well, we're subscribed, and I say it all the time, it's literally the highlight of my week. People going about AEW, NXT. Powerrr is the first thing I watch before anything.
Yeah.
Same. I will be honest. I tried to watch another program. I won't say which one, and I had to turn it off. It was rough for me to watch. If I watch anything, it is a lot of older stuff, a lot of old WCW, late 80s, early 90s WWF, some NWA and some archive stuff lately. But, it doesn't mean I'm not keeping my eye on some of the other products,
Well, that's what makes Powerrr so interesting is there's a lot of companies that claim to be an alternative, but really it's only NWA that's doing something different, which to me is an alternative. So I think
and still... Yeah, I still feel like even with Powerrr, there's something for everybody there.
Yeah.
You still get a taste of a little bit of everything. And, we can sit here and argue all day, but you bring up NWA, we're honestly the top 5 wrestling promotions in the world.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hands down, yeah. It's literally my favourite thing. I come home from work and it's the highlight of that day is I get to come home and I get to watch Powerrr. And
it's beautiful.
What I like about it is it doesn't try to be overcomplicated or anything. It's just simple wrestling, your good guys, your bad guys, and, you simple promos, but the promos are so good, you get invested just by, it can be a 30-second to a minute promo, and you already understand everything about that character. You don't need any more.
Yep.
And that's what
100%.
I love about
it. And it's cool because, the crowd is so into it. We film a whole season within a weekend. So they're sitting there, like the title win match. That was 15 minutes after the match I had with Ricky Starks and Matt Cross the week before, So we go back to back, and the crowd is hot every single time. And, they see it come out again, like for the start of every episode. And they do a good job at keeping everything under wraps. It's cool to, many spoilers out and about for Powerrr.
Yeah.
And we have a great atmosphere to help them. You there?
Yep, we're good. It just cut out for a moment.
You there?
Yeah, so what would you say the best part of working with NWA Powerrr has been so far?
Oh, man. God. Good question. I like being there to grow with the company. You know, I've been waiting for a stage to shine on, and we're trying to grow week by week, and I'm thankful to be a part of that. And I think that might be the best part so far. You know, is doing what I can, contributing what I can to help get the company to the next level.
Yeah, that must be good because it's a challenge too, isn't it? Like I said, it's not just you growing; it's the company growing, and as the company grows, that's rewarding for you too. So,
absolutely, you know, like taking a step back and looking at the big picture, like they're giving me some, you know, they're putting trust in me right now. You know, they're basically saying, hey, this is our guy, this is our television champion right here. You know, and I'm constantly on them. People ask, I don't have the belt on me. And I am dying and begging for, and I have a little tricks up my sleeve to make, you know, I want to carry that sucker around everywhere I go. I'm usually traveling every weekend, and I want to build the company and build every NWA. So when people see Zicky Dice, like, oh, where's that guy from? Where can I see that guy? Oh, NWA. You know, I'm all about building and branding, and that's all I've done for, since I was 15 years old.
And are you looking to collect a few more belts in the NWA along your way? Because obviously everyone's goal will be to hold the 10 pounds of gold, but are you also looking at the national championship or the tag team championship?
I'm looking at all of them. The national championship, the 10 pounds of pink, you name it. And am I looking at titles in other companies as well? You damn right.
Well, actually, speaking of the tag team titles, Jamie, you tweeted Zicky before and mentioned you'd love to see a team between himself and Joey Ryan. Zicky, is that something you could see happening down the line?
You know, I hear that a lot. I've wrestled Joey once recently in the last year. If you haven't seen that match, it's on Prestige Wrestling. You should definitely go and check that out. Mm-hmm. I'm supposed to wrestle Joey in Tampa in a tag match. It's myself and Danny Jordan, who was on Circle Squared recently, versus Joey Ryan and Heather Monroe at Fest Wrestling on, I believe, April 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. No, 1st, 2nd. No, I'm sorry, 3rd, 4th, April 4th. My bad. In Tampa, Florida. But tagging with Joey, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Joey Ryan is my second favorite wrestler. Obviously,
beautiful.
Obviously, you're my first.
Jamie, I've never. Well,
yeah, so of course.
Zicky, if you can see me, I'm totally marking out.
I've never seen him mark out so much for a guest we've had before. Usually he keeps his composure, but he's smiling like it's Christmas Day.
Yeah,
Zicky has that. I have that effect on people, baby.
Yeah, I am legit. I mean, I'm legit like marking out. This is the best interview we've ever done for me. I'm just
damn right. Outlandish, baby.
Hell, exactly. Yeah, I'm lost for words almost. I'm just gonna put Callum sat next to me because I'll get all tongue-tied.
Right.
I'm very interested in hearing a bit about the Black and Brave Academy because that's where you started training, I believe. And
yes,
there's Seth Rollins and Merrick Brave.
Yes. I moved to Moline, Illinois in 2015, just about 5 years ago. I watched WrestleMania 31 here, which is actually, ironically, 2 blocks away from my house, at Levi Stadium. And then 2 weeks after that, I moved to the Midwest, and I was trained one of 12, I believe, under a current WWE champion, which has never happened, which makes me even more rare. And graduated from the 3rd class of the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy and been wrestling ever since. I went and visited there last week and checked out some of the students, and I stay in touch with who comes in and out of there. I stay in contact with Crotch, Merrick, and Rollins. Yeah, it's great. It was hands down one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. It was tough, but I knew that going in. I broke in a little late. I was 26 when I started wrestling, and I wanted to be trained by the best. So that's why I decided to go to Black and Brave, and I haven't looked back since.
Well, it paid off because obviously you're doing so well for yourself now. But with the trainers as well, like Seth Rollins, obviously everybody knows Seth Rollins. But I've always thought Marek Brave has been such an underrated talent. I started watching him maybe 14 years ago when he was in IWA Mid-South.
Yes.
For a long time. And then I found out he was opening up this academy with Seth Rollins. And it's so cool to see Marek Brave too doing well for himself with the academy. What was it like training with Marek Brave? Did you pick up a lot of stuff from him too?
Oh, absolutely. I still pick his brain often. If you're not familiar, he had a major injury in a Ring of Honor tryout. It was him and Tyler Black, aka Seth Rollins, versus the Briscoes, if I'm not mistaken, and he suffered a neck injury from that match and never been the same since. I have yet to. I've always wanted to wrestle Marek. I was in like a tag match with him once. I think he might have touched me once, but that's always been on my to-do list as well. But Marek's a great trainer, and a bunch of people used to be like, "Oh, I bet you Seth Rollins isn't even there," and that's bullshit. At the time, they had Raw and SmackDown, and on Tuesdays he would be filming SmackDown. And Wednesday, Thursday, he would be there in class every single time. And Tuesdays, we had Crotch and Marek. Now the class is even luckier because he's on Raw. So they get him Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Now they have their own facility, a Black and Brave gym. It's beautiful. So it's been cool seeing the school grow at the same time and seeing such awesome talent coming out of there. We got like Steve Manders, he played football for Iowa. Came out of there. We got Jossie, Joesa, Dion Roosman, Travis Titan. There's a bunch of good talent coming out of Black and Brave right now to keep your eyes on. And it's a new seed that's just been planted a few years. The school's only a few years old, so now the talent's starting to emerge out of there. And now they got to follow in Zicky Dice's footsteps, the leading graduate, baby.
Well, I was thinking. Surely there must be a statue of Zicky Dice at the Black and Brave Academy.
You know what? There damn well should be. I was going to mail them a gift. They haven't heard yet, but if they find out on this podcast, that's fine. I was going to mail them a gift for the gym, a little outlandish gift.
Well, I guess one of the big benefits for the Black and Brave Academy is having somebody as a head trainer who is on TV every week. They can relay that knowledge of how to work TV, which is something I'm guessing a lot of schools don't have. So, with yourself, you've become the television champion, so it's obviously paid off in some way, would you say?
Absolutely. It's cool too. Like I said, there are, even once you graduate, like I can go there and train anytime. I can use the gym anytime. I can text and contact them anytime and pick their brains anytime. And you know what? I haven't used those until as of recently. I've been blowing them up. I've got a lot of stuff going on my end, and I'm thankful that I have them there to help guide me in some of these crucial. Did I lose you again? Damn it! Hello. 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 Thought I stopped you guys. I thought you guys got corona on me.
It's all right. We can fix it in post. We're good. Yeah. So
I was going to sidebar because I'm a field musician, so I was just curious about your music passions. Obviously, Heart to Heart. Oh, I've been listening to it recently. What got you into music?
No worries.
Can you hear us, Zicky? Or is Skype completely gone? Can you hear us, man?
Yes, I'm not a field musician. Daydreaming got me into music, and I would daydream about wrestling and music in high school. Are you there? Are you there?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Fuck. Hello. Hope this should get easier. Hello.
Hello.
Is that better?
That's better, yeah.
Can you hear us? Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I connected to the gym Wi-Fi. I'm in the parking lot. My bad.
No worries.
I said, yeah. I am not a failed musician. I would daydream about music and wrestling, and from there, I just started a band in high school and picked off different bands from there. I sing in a band called Heart to Heart. We were on the Vans Warped Tour and did some other big tours in our day. We just released the record, Heart to Heart's Heartbreaker, on In Vogue Records. You can stream that everywhere you stream music, and I recommend you do that now. You know what? I'll even let you use one of our songs on this interview. You can go ahead and play one at the beginning or the end. How's that sound?
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, because I was saying, I'm a failed musician, me, not you, me.
Oh, I know that. Yeah. You sound like one.
I am, yes. But I was listening to Heart the other day, and I was blown away. I mean, fantastic. I saw you were supporting 4 Years Strong as well, who were another favourite band of mine.
And called Zicky the NWA's Chris Jericho, didn't you? I don't know how we'll take that, but...
Did I?
Yeah, because you said he's in a band and is a wrestler, which is a bit like Chris Jericho.
No, Chris Jericho is the AEW's Zicky Dice.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Yes, yeah, that sounds a lot better.
Yes, that's what I said. Chris Jericho wishes he could be Zicky Dice.
Yeah, he did actually tweet
That's right.
That. Yeah.
Yes, damn right. Don't throw me under the bus, man.
Zicky, we're not going to keep you for too long.
Yes.
We're going to let you go to have your workout soon because you said you're at the gym. I'm guessing you're training to.
Gotta get that body, baby. You gotta get that. You gotta get pay-per-view ready. Gym, tan, and laundry.
And I'm sure you've got a lot of fans coming up to you as well while you're at the gym. You have to deal
Unfortunately. with. Yeah, I gotta fight them all. I usually swing a 45-pound plate at their head.
Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to plug before you go? I know you've got 16,000.
Absolutely.
Fanny packs.
Absolutely. I know I said it earlier, but please head to youtube.com/NWA and hit that subscribe button. If you want to follow this outlandish journey that I call my life, I've made it nice and simple for everybody at Zicky Dice, ZickYDice on every piece of social media out there. I look forward to entertaining you all, and I don't give a shit what you think about it.
Well, this has been one of my favorite interviews just because of how easy it's been. I mean, Zicky, brings the views in. I'm expecting we're going to go global overnight.
Yeah.
So thanks, Zicky.
Right.
Thanks for making the name for Ringsiders podcast.
We'll send you all the royalties.
Beautiful.
But have a great rest of your day, and we'll be watching you on the NWA. We've been Ringsiders podcast. Jamie, where can we find you?
Red Wolf, JB, everywhere.
You can find me at xblackmass on Twitter. Zicky, thanks for joining us. Hopefully have you on again soon. See you later.
Outlandish.